Okay. Welcome everyone to the February Forum. We're glad you're here and have joined us today to learn about some updates on work going on at TDL over the last month and work that's coming up. My name is Christy Park. I'm the Executive Director of the Texas Digital Library, and I will get us started today. This is our agenda. It follows a similar format to what you're probably used to. But a couple of reminders as we start. If you have questions, please feel free to use the chat window to ask them, and we'll answer them as we have an appropriate moment. You also have the ability to download the slides in the Files pod at the bottom of the screen. And as I said, we are recording this, so you'll be able to access this on the TDL YouTube channel later on once we've had a chance to caption the recording. I'm going to start with some updates on things going on in our community, and then we'll transition into some services updates on a number of our services and some projects that are going on. I'll take some of those, and Courtney Muma, our Deputy Director, will follow up with some news. Then we'll cover updates on what's going on in the digital library community, including some announcements from our members. And hopefully we'll have some time at the end for some Q&A. We have a very full agenda today. So first off from me, we are actively underway with our plans to visit all of our member institutions this spring and summer to make site visits to all of our member campuses. Whatever it takes to get us there, we want to meet and hear from you and to share our vision for the next year or two. And we have already visited a couple. We started last week with a visit to Baylor and yesterday to Texas State. You may have seen photos from those visits on our social media. And those were great opportunities, as are all of these visits, to talk with library faculty and staff at our member institutions, to hear about member needs and to help us think about service improvements and additions over the coming couple of years. So Leah, our communication strategist, has been reaching out to many of you already to find dates for these visits. We've got a lot of them scheduled, and you can see those events and when we're going to be at various places on our events page on our website at tdl.org/events. So we really appreciate everyone's willingness to take time, a good chunk out of the day, to meet with us and talk with us and listen to us. And we're really excited about these visits. It's always fun, and it's been a few years since we've done this systematically. So this is going to be a fun spring and summer for us. I'll be doing these visits in a lot of cases, but we're splitting it up amongst us. So Courtney and Leah are representing us on some of these visits too. So I want to thank them for their willingness to do a lot of traveling this spring and summer. Next, I just want to note an event that was announced just last month. That's kind of a big event in our community. Last month, Lyrasis and Duraspace announced their intent to merge, forming a new home for community-supported programs and services. You may have seen this announcement come out a couple weeks ago. And just as a reminder, Duraspace is a not-for-profit organization that shepherds several important open source software projects, including a couple of projects that TDL is deeply engaged with, in particular DSpace and DuraCloud. TDL is also a platinum member of the DSpace project. We contribute $20,000 a year to support the continued development of DSpace and the worldwide community around it. So this is an important organization for TDL and for our membership. The Duraspace board is going to vote on the merger at the end of this month, and if it goes through, Duraspace projects like DSpace will be combined with projects that Lyrasis shepherds, and they'll form a new division called the DuraSpace Community Supported Programs Division within Lyrasis. DSpace, DuraCloud, and other DuraSpace projects will join Lyrasis projects like Archive Space, Collection Space, and Simply eBooks in that division. So just, I think the important takeaways here are this won't have any impact on the DSpace hosting service or DuraCloud services that TDL provides, but we want to make sure our community is aware of this big event in the digital library world. We hope, along with DuraSpace, that this will be a win for DuraSpace and shore up its sustainability over the long term and its ability to scale and do more with these additional resources that will be available to them as a result of the merger. We remain in close contact with our partners at DuraSpace to understand how this might impact projects we rely on. But for the next year or more, there won't be any changes to the way project membership works, and each project will continue to maintain their own independent governance structure. So for instance, DSpace will continue to be governed by the DSpace Leadership Group, which TDL has a seat on. So I'm happy to answer any questions about this if you have them as we get to the Q&A. Okay, next up, want to remind you that the award nominations are open for TDL Awards, and we are really excited about the work that our awards committee has put in to make this year's awards better than ever. We have a couple of new awards categories and updated descriptions, so we want to make sure you nominate yourself or a colleague for a TDL award. And there are a number of opportunities for awards. You can go to tdl.org/awards and read about them. The deadline for submitting nominations has been extended to February 25th, so you have no excuses. We want to see those nominations come in, and we want to thank those who have already submitted nominations. As a reminder, we will be handing out and recognizing award winners at TCDL 2019, which is coming up very soon, May 20th through the 23rd. We have received a record-breaking number of proposal submissions as of the close of the call for proposals a few days ago. And we are really looking forward to setting the program and seeing what those proposals look like and how we're gonna craft them into a great program. Early bird registration ends on April 5th, so make sure you are registering and letting your colleagues know to register by that time. If you have any questions about registration or any other TCDL stuff, you can reach out to our conference coordinator, Lauren McCulloch, with those. And I want to thank, as always, our TCDL Planning Committee, which is chaired by Clark Yakavakis of Oklahoma State and co-chaired by Marcia McIntosh of UNT. They have done an excellent job shepherding our committee and our proposal process this year. So we're going to move into some services and projects updates, and I'll start with a couple here and then turn it over to others. First off, very briefly, I want to share the good news that we've completed upgrades to all our hosted DSpace repositories to version 6.3. We want to thank our members for their partnership during this process. And we completed most of these, if you remember, back in the fall, but we had two stragglers that we put off till after the first of the year for various reasons. And those have been completed and are in production now, so we're excited to have that, to put a bow on that project and move on to other things. Secondly, we are actively testing OJS 3 and planning the upgrade. Currently, we're recruiting a couple of journal managers that we're working with to help us pilot the upgrade. And then after that, we'll begin the process of communicating with all journal managers and allowing them to test in a sandbox OJS 3 and then scheduling upgrades after that. This process will take some time. We have around 60 to 65 journals that we're going to be upgrading to OJS3. This is a pretty complex and big change from version 2 to 3, and so we want to make sure we're spending appropriate time getting everybody brought along on these upgrades and able to troubleshoot effectively during the process. So we'll have more on that as we progress through the pilot process. With that, I think I'm done, and I am going to hand it over to Kara Long from Baylor University, who's going to share some information about the work that's been ongoing within TDL to expand the number of collections being harvested and going to the Digital Public Library of America. Kara has been leading a metadata working group developing guidelines for that project, and so I'm going to turn it over to her to give us an update.
Hello. Thank you so much, Christy. My name is Kara Long. I'm from Baylor University, and I am the chair of the TDL DPLA Metadata Working Group. And over this past year, the Metadata Working Group has been working closely with TDL through the development and pilot of a prototype harvester, and we've been developing a metadata application profile for the Texas Aggregation Hub. And we're now getting ready to release this application profile for community comment. So the document is going to be made available for public comment in the next few weeks. We welcome any suggestions from the community for next steps that would be beneficial as we work together. After the period of public comment has closed, TDL will publish and promote the use of the Texas metadata application profile among contributing institutions, and also work to provide some guidance on implementation and compliance with the profile. So please be on the lookout for an email from me in the coming weeks about that. And I also want to thank my fellow members of the DPLA Metadata Working Group, Albert Duran from Houston Public Library, Paloma Graciano Picardo from the Harry Ransom Center at UT Austin, Hannah Tarver from the University of North Texas, Katie Tomford from Houston Public Library, Ann Washington from the University of Houston, and Nick Woodward, of course, at TDL. Thanks.
Thank you, Kara. So there may be questions about this, and we're happy to talk more about it. We are hoping and planning to start to perform an aggregation, starting with our pilot members who worked on these metadata guidelines later in the year, and extend that aggregation out to other TDL members as we are able to. So we'll have more information about that in the coming weeks and months, but this is a wonderful milestone to have this metadata guidelines draft done and open for comment and review by our community. So we really appreciate the work, the hard work that Kara and the committee have put into these guidelines, and hope you'll take a look at them. I'm going to now turn it over to Courtney Muma, our Deputy Director, to give some additional updates on services and projects, starting with Vireo.
Thanks, Christy. Hi, everybody. This is Courtney. Glad to be here today. So the first thing I want to update you about quickly is that we actually began a Vireo community sprint, the second of the community sprints, this Monday, February 18th, and it's going to run through Friday, March 8th. So it's a 3-week sprint, slightly longer than normal. These Vireo community sprints are a new effort to get greater engagement from open source users and developers outside of the TDL membership and staff. So the focus of this particular community sprint is mostly going to be on user-facing usability and using the GUI in the application. Leah is going to paste some links in the chat over here so that you can click and find out where to learn more about the community sprints and then sign up to participate using a form that we've provided asking just a little bit of information about how much time you'd like to give and how you would like to participate. So that's about it for the Vireo community sprints. We're excited about it. We really hope we can get some people at least testing the most recent Vireo 4 development version for us, and we're ready to go when you are. Next up, we're going to hear briefly from Michael Shensky, GIS and Geospatial Data Coordinator at UT Libraries, and he's going to be reporting on Love Data Week activities. Thanks, Michael.
Hi, everyone. This is Michael Shensky from UT. Last week was Love Data Week, which celebrated the theme of data in everyday life and explored the topics of open data and data justice. Here at the UT Libraries, we planned several successful Love Data Week activities. In addition to promoting our Topics in Research Data Management webinar, we also developed a series of social media posts about good data management practice. We also hosted a workshop about managing geospatial data. This workshop was part of our regularly scheduled Data and Donuts workshop series, which is a special geospatial data theme this semester to help us promote our new GIS and geospatial data services here at the libraries. And finally, our big event for the week was an open geospatial data discussion panel where we heard from representatives of several locally based government agencies who are involved in sharing open government data, including folks from the Texas Natural Resources Information System, TNRIS, the City of Austin, Travis County, and the Texas General Land Office.
Mike helps. Thanks, Michael. I was talking to nothing for a second there. Thanks for that update. We're really excited about all the work that was done around Love Data Week. And one final thing in our service updates from me before we move into our community updates, I just want to remind everybody about the next installment in our webinar series, Topics in Research Data Management. As Michael mentioned, TDL and the Texas Data Repository Steering Committee have been presenting this webinar series showcasing topics in research data management and hosted by Dataverse-specific experts in academic libraries throughout North America. The next webinar that we hope you'll attend is on March 19th, and it will feature Amy Nernberger, who's the program head for data management services at MIT Libraries. And Amy will be discussing how to leverage your campus connections towards better research data management. All of the webinars in the series have been and will be recorded and captioned. We're publishing the series on our YouTube channel, and you can also find them in a playlist by clicking on the link provided. The webinars in this series are free and open to anyone who's interested, but registration is required. So you can sign up at tdl.org. Leah is also going to paste that link to our event page in the chat window there. Thanks, Leah. And now we'll share some community updates from the TDL community. The first one that I would like to report is one that I just got back from the PASIG 2019 conference, which was last week in Mexico City. I'd especially like to thank all of our Texas members who attended. I was so proud to have y'all there from UT Austin, Texas State, University of Houston, and also UT Rio Grande Valley. I was also joined by Chronopolis partners from UCSD, David Miner and Sybil Schaefer. So it was a really great meeting. And I'll tell you that overall we were very focused on community at this PASIG, talking about how community benefits digital preservation efforts in particular. And we also touched on a lot about the human element in digital preservation and how often that gets overlooked and how we need to spend more time thinking about it. So overall, a wonderful meeting. And all of the proceedings, including the two panels that I was on, will be available shortly. So you'll see an announcement that I'll duplicate to TDL membership. And then one other update I wanted to share is about the Software Preservation Network, which is, some of you may know, a coordinated distributed effort to ensure long-term access to software through community engagement, infrastructure support, and knowledge generation. The Software Preservation Network, or SPIN, believes that software should be curated and preserved because it's a dependency to access existing digital data, and also because it has intrinsic cultural value due to its mediating role in our lives. Software is critical information infrastructure. From August 2018 to December 14, 2018, the Software Preservation Network ran a prospectus campaign to invite sponsorship and membership for a 2-year seed-funded period to scale up SPN's services and operations. On January 1st, 2019, they officially launched, and 2 TDL members joined in support of their efforts. TDL wants to extend our thanks to those members at Texas Tech and UT Austin for investing in the future of software preservation. And now I'll hand things off to Leah DeForest, our communications strategist, to cover more community updates. Thanks, y'all.
Hey, thanks, Courtney. Hi, everyone. This is Leah from TDL with a TCDL reminder. First off, we would love to see our members take advantage of the TDL Leadership Academy, which is brand new this year. The Academy is adjacent to TCDL, but a separate event, and it's just the day before the TCDL pre-conference day on May 20th, 2019. Thanks to our planning committee and here at TDL, we've really worked hard to keep the registration price for this event low and affordable so that people at any career level can afford to attend and take advantage of this opportunity. As Christy mentioned, early bird registration ends on April 5th. That's for both TCDL and for the Leadership Academy. There are discounted registrations to the Academy for TDL members and also students. And we're offering a bundled registration discount for both the conference and Academy attendees. I also want to point out that we have some excellent opportunities for students at TCDL, including a brand new scholarship for iSchool graduate level students in Texas. We have a special award that is just for students, open to either undergraduates or graduate students. As I mentioned, we have discounted registration for the Conference and Leadership Academy, and we're also offering volunteer opportunities, which will include free registration to the conference. We built a page on our website that's dedicated to the student opportunities at TCDL, where you can find more information, and we really hope that you will share that along with your student colleagues. And now I'm going to hand it over to Laura McElfresh from Texas A&M at Galveston, who will share an update on DSpace training here at TDL.
Thank you, Leah. Good morning, everyone. I am Laura McElfresh, Digital Initiatives Librarian at Texas A&M Galveston and Chair of the DSpace Training and Education Group. We were formerly called the DSpace Education Working Group because we had an initial mission to analyze and meet training needs as outlined in a survey that we did back in 2015. But when we reached the end of that project, we found that there was still a lot for us left to do. So rather than a working group, we remade ourselves as more of a standing group, calling ourselves DSpace Training and Education Group, or DTEG for short. So our core responsibility is to train members of Texas Digital Library in the use of DSpace. We also outline our projects for each year, report out to TDL membership at TCDL, and we coordinate with TDL membership, with the DSpace user group, and with other groups as needed to help provide and improve training on TDL software platforms. Well, I forgot to mention the other members of our group there. We got a list. Leah DeForest, Susan Elkins, who is our incoming vice chair. We just got some new officers at our last meeting. Narissa Lindsay. Joseph Pruitt is going to be, he's our chair-elect, so he's 2 chairs back. After Susan takes over from me at TCDL, Joseph is going to be our new vice chair-elect. We've also got Ed Warga and Laura Waugh. So we're still around. We intend to still be around. And if you ever need training in DSpace on any level, beginner, old pro, whatever level you need, or special problems, questions, request training at the tdl.org/support form. We've got the link right there on the screen. In fact, we are currently working out details to do some intro DSpace for our new members, the team out at Texas Women's University. And I think that's all I've got for now. I'm going to pass it back to Leah if you have any questions. Oh yeah, we're also always on the lookout for new members to join us. If you have ideas for DSpace training, if you want to become a trainer, if you just want to see what the group is all about, get in touch with me or with any of the folks that you see there on the member list. Okay, now I'm going to hand it back to Leah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Laura. And a big thank you to all of the members on our DSpace Training and Education group. And while I'm on the topic, I want to remind everyone that our DSpace user group meeting is next Tuesday February 26th from 10 to 11 a.m. We hope you can join us there. Finally, for me, TDL is really excited to present a new webinar series that's going to highlight practical steps to getting started with open educational resources, or OER. We hope you'll join us along with presenters from Alamo Colleges District, Austin Community College, Houston Community College, Texas A&M University, Texas Tech University, University of Houston, UT Arlington, UT Austin, and UT San Antonio. So each webinar in the series will feature presentations from different academic librarians who are working with OER throughout Texas. And all the webinars are free and open to anyone who is interested. We're seeing that people are forwarding the link on to faculty and students, just about anybody who might be affected by OER, interested in learning more. The series is going to kick off during Open Education Week, and our first webinar is going to be March 5th, that's a Tuesday, at 3 p.m., and it's going to be Lessons Learned in OER. Going to present an introduction to the breadth of issues and challenges and how to sustain some early wins once you get started with OER. I'm going to paste a link here to learn more. And you can sign up for that webinar series via that link as well. I want to throw one more quick reminder in. We are going to try something new at this forum. We're asking our members to take a survey at the end of every forum and just give us feedback. We want to make sure that these forums are really useful for you and that you're getting what you need out of them. So please do take a minute to take that survey. It's about 2 or 3 questions. And then my final reminder is to please keep an eye out for our e-newsletter. That should be hitting your inbox early next week. And that's back to you, Christy.
Awesome. Thank you, Leah. Thanks to all of our staff and our members for their updates today. It's so great to hear from lots of different voices. We had a lot of content today, so we only have a couple minutes left, but we still have a couple minutes left if you have any questions for us. And you can type those into the chat window if you have them. Okay. Sounds like we're good, so we will wrap it up for today and wish you a happy rest of February. We'll see you same time, same place in March, if not before. Have a great day, everybody.